All right, today we are jumping headfirst into a really wild idea. We're talking about a new theory that doesn't just want to tweak our picture of the universe, it wants to completely rebuild it from the ground up. So, what if reality itself is a machine?
So let's just start with this big question. What if the physics that built our entire modern world, everything from your phone to the GPS in your car, is actually missing something huge? What if the picture we have of reality isn't just a little bit off, but is actually a seriously incomplete sketch?
To get why a new theory might even be on the table, we got to look at where physics is at right now. And honestly, it's a house divided. It's a story defined by this huge gap between two incredibly successful but totally incompatible ideas.
Okay, so on one side, you have general relativity. That's Einstein's masterpiece. It's beautiful. It describes the universe of the very big, stars, galaxies, black holes, perfectly. But it has a glaring problem. It can't tell us what energy is actually made of. On the other side, you've got quantum mechanics. This thing governs the truly bizarre world of subatomic particles. And it's amazing at predicting what will happen, but it only gives us probabilities, never a certain cause for an effect.
Now, this quote from the source material we're digging into just hits the nail on the head. It says, quantum mechanics is a powerful calculator, but it's not an explanation of reality. And that's the whole issue right there. It works, it gives us the right answers for our tech, but it doesn't give us a clear picture of what's actually happening behind the curtain. It's all how, but no why.
So how in the world do you bridge that gap? Well, this new theory proposes a complete shift in how we look at everything. A shift that some of the greatest scientific minds have actually been hinting at for decades. It says we should stop looking at reality as a set of abstract rules and start seeing it as a physical mechanism.
This is what's called the machinery point of view. And the core idea is pretty simple, but it's a total game changer. The universe isn't just governed by the laws of physics, it is a physical machine. It's a real system with actual moving parts that, if we could just see them, would explain everything without any of the weirdness or paradoxes.
And what is the most essential part of this cosmic machine? The theory proposes a new fundamental building block, and it calls it the fermion carrier ball. Just think of it as the ultimate gear in the machine, a real physical object that carries energy and literally builds the fabric of space-time. This, the theory says, is the missing piece of the whole puzzle.
Okay, so that's a pretty huge claim, right? So let's get into it. How does thinking about reality as a machine actually solve the biggest headaches in physics? How does this new model finally unite the world of the very big with the world of the very small?
Well, this new foundation is built on three major steps. First, it claims to finish what Einstein started by explaining what energy is actually made of. Second, it puts quantum mechanics in what it calls its proper place, not as a picture of reality, but as that powerful calculator we mentioned. And third, it completely reframes the idea of uncertainty, not as a law of nature, but as a product of our own human point of view.
Let's really dig into that last point, because it's a big one. This theory argues that the famous Heisenberg uncertainty principle isn't some fundamental rule of the universe. Nope. Instead, it's a side effect of us, of our limited perspective. It's what happens when we try to chop up a reality that is fundamentally whole and interconnected. The uncertainty, it says, isn't in nature itself. It's in our attempt to divide something that can't actually be divided.
So if uncertainty is just an illusion of our perspective, what does this new model say the real universe, the machine itself, actually looks like? This is where we get to a completely unified picture of reality.
And here it is, maybe the most profound consequence of this whole idea. In this view, there are no separate building blocks, no fundamental particles like electrons or quarks, no separate forces like gravity. There is only one thing, a single, continuous fabric that is constantly changing and reshaping itself.
What this model is really hoping to achieve is a brand new alignment in science itself. You see, right now, mathematics kind of leads the way by creating models that describe things, physics is fractured, and philosophy is often told to just stay on the sidelines. The goal here is to create the new partnership, a trustworthy whole, where math describes the machine, physics explains how that machine actually works, and philosophy helps us understand our place inside of it all.
So here's the crucial point. This is not just some abstract debate for physicists in a lab. The way we describe reality has deep, profound implications for how we see ourselves and how we interact with each other.
This model represents a massive shift in our worldview. We would move away from the idea that reality is made of countless separate little things, particles, objects, people, and toward the idea that reality is one, single, interconnected fabric. We only appear to be separate.
And this, right here, illustrates the human stake in all of this. I mean, if we believe we're all fundamentally separate things, it makes sense that competition becomes the main driver of society. But if we truly understood that we are all just different expressions of one connected whole, then cooperation could become our main way of being. Our physics could literally change our culture.
So we're going to leave you with this final thought to chew on. What if that feeling of being a distinct, separate self is just an illusion of your perspective? What if there are no particles, no forces, no you and me, only a single reshaping fabric that we are all and have always been a part of?